learn about your region and learn about your town. There's lots going on. So my last guest today is Janine Chicourrat, my dear friend, and one of the best hotel managers on the planet, obviously. We're not even talking about the region. So anyway, Janine, welcome.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Appreciate being here.
So you, I guess, also could be like a construction guru now, right?
Well, I've had my moments between the hotel, the conference center, and redoing our home. It's been quite a couple years.
So how many rooms do you have there?
At the hotel, 379.
Is that the second largest property in the region?
It is. It's the second largest. The Hyatt's the largest, and then we're the second largest.
That's what I thought. Someone asked me that yesterday, and I said, I don't know, but I think they're number 2.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it doesn't look like it because the way the building was designed back in the day, it intentionally is designed not to look that big.
Yeah, it's not big and imposing.
Right.
It sets really well on that property.
It does. Yeah.
So, well, the inside, the new lobby area, the place looks smashing. It's really good.
It's the best part about it is people walk in and it's so dramatically different. They just kind of stop and look and go, wow. And you know, a lot of times when you do a remodel, you don't get that impact. And for us, it's been really, really fun. We have a lot of repeat groups. I think one of the first ones back were the marathon people. And they come every year to run the marathon, and they were just blown away. Especially when you're still walking through a construction zone, you don't expect to see something finished like it is in the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so are the rooms remodeled also?
We have, yeah, we actually took the bathrooms all the way down to the studs and redid the bathrooms. The interiors were done right when I got there. We're replacing the hallway carpeting as we speak, and we're repainting all the hallways, and we increased all the wattage, so they're brighter and cleaner, and it just looks great.
You know, I think a lot of local people don't realize that you've got so many meeting rooms. Like, you don't just have big space, but you've actually got smaller space where you can accommodate board groups or small groups that are in town. And I think that's one of the benefits of the way your property's laid out.
I think so too. In fact, when I first went to interview there and I went up to the executive boardroom in the hotel, I was blown away. I couldn't believe how nice that boardroom was, and it has its own private bathroom, it has its own small kitchen, and there are 7 rooms on that floor, so we've actually locked down that entire floor for some pretty high-end meetings. So it's something you would multiple times.
Yes.
So.
I love it. Let's talk about the new menu, because I had lunch there yesterday or day before, and I had the filet, a steak sandwich, which I'm prone to, but Hunter had the salmon, and that just looked fabulous. Mine was fabulous, but his looked actually even better.
Yeah, that is a fantastic dish, and because our region being on the Monterey Bay and fresh Monterey Bay salmon, it's nice to have that on your menu. But Chef Danny Abruzzi is our executive chef, and he is just phenomenal. We coined his menu California cultural cuisine because he decided we wanted to pull from different cultures that are all the melting pot of California. So literally we have more people than anywhere in the world that live in this state. So he decided to design a menu based on the different cultures. So he even has his mama's eggplant parmesan on the menu, and we have a goat moussaka, that salmon dish you were talking about. We have a French halibut that comes out in parchment paper and a papillette, which is fantastic. We have a hamachi crudo, which is one of our top-selling appetizers. But it's just a really well-rounded, fun. The other thing that's neat is I was talking to a friend of mine who happens to be a vegan, and they couldn't believe how many choices were on the menu, and they were pleasantly surprised.
So exactly, how much more dining capacity do you have? Do you have more space for people that want to eat, or is it just that now it's kind of moved around?
Just that it's now moved around.
Okay.
The old Jack's, where we now call it the club room, where we still have it open for breakfast and private parties. I mean, I don't want the locals to think they can't use that lovely private dining room, because that's still available. But it's the same number of seats. Okay. It's not larger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that atrium was beautiful. I mean, I've always loved it, and I've been to wedding receptions. But now I think it's just more people will be aware of it and be able to use it. You should get some of the walk-through traffic too, of people that are going back and forth between Custom House Plaza and the wharf, and
We've always had that. In fact, I always joke about we're the nicest bathroom in town, downtown Monterey, because everybody comes through and stops in the hotel. But I think once the Portola Plaza construction is finished and people feel welcomed again downtown, we'll have that natural foot traffic that we've had for years.
Yeah,
So it'd be
no,
cool.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it.
It's fun watching everybody walk through.
So how are events? Do you have things that are people slowly starting to rebook? I know it was pretty rough while you didn't really know what the timing was.
Right. It's been extremely tough and challenging, but we are starting to see the group business starting to come back. We're getting more and more leads each week and trying to convert as much as we can. Ideally, we want to get that strong corporate market from Silicon Valley, and we had a high-end group recently where I actually shut down the hotel because the conference center wasn't ready, and we're able to keep them by getting creative and using Del Monte Aviation for their awards ceremony for their ballroom, and it was actually pretty fun for us. It was totally out of our character and out of our nature to shut down the hotel. But
Well, it's kind of like you discover new places when you're forced to, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's so many fantastic places in the community. I mean, people forget about those Jet Center hangars or the Naval Postgraduate School and that beautiful facility that you can rent out. And there's some really unique places. The beach house. I mean, nobody in the state of California has a beach house like we have to be able to throw private parties.
No, it's a
and
great
that's at
spot.
this private club. So that's a fantastic spot. And of course, you always have the aquarium. But there's all kinds of, I mean, Folktale now with all their things that they're doing there. It's just a really, really special community to be able to bring people here from all over the world and really show it off.
Are you able to use the memory garden?
We are.
So that's a great spot
That's,
too.
Going to the Mary Ann Day every year, that is a national treasure. And, I'm so glad the city of Monterey does that. And it just really, I've always said it should be like the luau's they do in Hawaii. We should have a Mary Ann Day every Saturday night through the summer weekends and sell tickets like we do for luau's. But it's a really neat day.
Yeah, and it's pretty much underpriced.
It is, but don't let the secret out.
I know. The old residents will have me hung.
That's right.
So where does the bulk of the business come from? Is it like regional, or is it from all across the U.S.?
For the hotel?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, it depends on if you're talking about leisure or business, but most of the business comes from the Bay Area. So a lot of drive traffic, especially on the leisure side. One of the things I did when I first got to the hotel was make it pet friendly, because I knew so many people from the Bay Area were coming down for the weekends, and it's just one more perk for them. But from a corporate standpoint and from a group standpoint, people come from all over the world, and a lot of these tech firms have offices all over the world, so they fly in, and it's fun to see the different cultures come in and have their meetings. So we're really blessed that way. That's one thing I love about this hotel is the diversity. We get to see it all. We can have, all kinds of crazy different things. I won't even go into it, but it's fun in terms of seeing the different groups come through.
And you've really got a good spa there.
We do. Spa in the Plaza
Yes.
has been #1 day spa multiple times and continues to do so. And that actually is a little treasure too. When you walk in, you don't realize how nice it is,
Well, it's truly like a little oasis you're not expecting when you walk through those doors.
That's true. That's true. And we've got wonderful operators that actually run the spa for us, and they've been doing it for years. They actually started Post Ranch's spa, so they know what they're doing, and it's a beautiful facility. Yeah.
I remember the first time I went in there, I had no idea. I think someone gave me a gift certificate for something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess I'll just go use it. And I walked in, it's prior to you being on property, and I walked in, I went, wow.
That's exactly what I did. I came from Pebble Beach. I'm used to the Pebble Beach spa, and I'm thinking, so my expectations are extremely high. And then I walked in there, and I was like, whoa, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
So.
But it kind of goes back to that you have 379 rooms, and it doesn't look like it would accommodate 379 rooms. So I think it's all into that whole layout. Someone was very clever the way they did that.
Well, part of it was by accident, too. Part of it was because the Coastal Commission came into power.
Okay.
So originally, the conference center was supposed to have a much larger auditorium and a third ballroom. And then the hotel was going to have a bunch of hotel rooms that overlooked the marine sanctuary. So that whole Pacific Street side were going to be taller hotel rooms. So between the people up on Spaghetti Hill about to lose their views and the Coastal Commission coming into power, they had to redesign the entire project. So.
You know, next month is my daughter's 25th wedding anniversary, and so I had a block of 12 rooms for her wedding 25 years ago when it was the Doubletree. That's a while ago. And everyone still raves about it. The ones that came from the Midwest, they still rave about the property. And a couple of them have been back and they've stayed there again. But it's just, you know, it's so well placed. I think you're probably the best placed property of anybody.
Yeah, we're very, very fortunate. You know, you have to have the right location when you operate a hotel, and that gives you all the advantage of the world. So,
when I was having lunch, someone was asking the hostess if the farmers market was that afternoon, and they had been here before, and they were wanting to go to the farmers market, and she said it's Tuesday. They're like, darn, we'll be gone on Saturday, but it was. You know, I think there are so many things to do once you get down in that location. You can walk to the aquarium and the beach easily, Fisherman's Wharf, Farmers Market.
Well, and the festivals. I mean, we have so many festivals throughout the summer. There's always something going on every weekend, which is fun. I mean, when I travel, I love to experience that. I love to get out and start walking and see what's unique to a community, and so to have that right out our back door and have Custom House Plaza be such a great setting as well. And then you have the new Dolly Museum.
Yes.
That they're getting all kinds of press and media and people. We put together a Dolly hotel package and it's selling, you know, it's who would have thought, but except for the Dolly people. But it's amazing how it's doing well.
Well, there are people that go all over the world for certain artists, and he is one of those draws. So I think the history of him in Monterey is fascinating.
I do too.
So, you know,
too.
it's really, really good.
Yeah.
But so what would you like to see in the next year? Would you like to see, obviously, more events in the property, but...
Yeah, I mean, obviously, have the group business come back, and, you know, it's good for our employees. It's good for the small businesses in downtown. I mean, they've been suffering as well. I mean, you know, I can sit there and talk about losing millions of dollars, but there's also the little people that have been impacted. So I'd love to just see that vibrancy come back. I'd love to see the community get involved and be excited about their new downtown. You know, a lot of people don't understand when you have something as a dramatic change like the city's done with the conference center and we've done with the hotel at the epicenter of a town, that it triggers all the other economic impact up and down Alvarado Street and beyond. You know, I'm extremely excited about the Cooper Malera project. I mean, that's going to be amazing. Most people have driven around by those walls for years. There's locals who don't even know what's behind that wall.
I don't even think they see the building.
Right. So that's going to be a new event place, and there's just, you know, I just hope that this becomes a community that is almost like that European village that it displays and gets out and enjoys and supports all the local businesses downtown.
Well, you know, talking about the kind of trickle-down effect, at the Monterey Pop Festival, there was a couple from Santa Cruz behind us, and they were staying at a Silomar for 3 nights. And so they said they didn't want to drive back and forth. They love a Silomar. So they had gone to the Museum of Art to see the photographic exhibit of Who Shot Monterey Pop. They went to the OCO for the screening that the OCO had that afternoon, I think on Sunday, for the Monterey Pop Festival with the producer. So it was just fun. I mean, they did not just pay their $1,000 for their ticket. They were out and exploring other things and then coming back for some of the shows. And that's really the kind of visitor you want, that they move around and share the wealth. And so they had gone to, where did you say? Oh, they went to Lula's on the wharf for breakfast. And, you know, they just were out. And another couple from San Mateo, they didn't even come in until like 6 o'clock on Saturday night. They were out they went hiking and had breakfast out at in Carmel Valley. So I think people have to understand, when you have an event like that, it really does move money around and keeps people employed.
True. True.
So,
We're doing a New Year's Eve party this year for the first time since I've been there. We haven't had any in years, and it's going to be the end of the summer of love. So that's our theme, and we're going to encourage everybody to wear jeans and tie-dyed and beads and glasses, and let's just have
Fun.
a blowout year-end to celebrate a fun summer that the city of Monterey and, of course, San Francisco Bay Area is experiencing.
that'd be a perfect tie-in for first night.
Yeah.
With what people can be downtown and not have to be all fancy dressed up and then come in and
Yep.
and do a big celebration. I like that.
Yeah, it's going
I
to
like
be
that a lot.
It's going to be fun.
So,
Yeah.
I have one more question, and we have to wrap up. But how's the workforce? Are you finding enough people to work with the way the economy is?
You know, we struggle a little bit from the housekeeping side, and all the hotels do here locally. We'd love to have more housekeepers, and you know, we share the concerns that the farm workers share with immigration, and it's something that is on our radar. But by and large, we do pretty well in terms of being able to staff the hotel. You know, we love to have kids that have graduated from high school recently come and apply to work for a summer. We've got some great, wonderful kids that are working this summer. You have to be 18, only prerequisite. But you know, we love to have that extra energy, and so yeah, overall it's okay. But we do share concerns.
So I valet parked, and I had a darling guy. I think it was his first date, John.
Mm-hmm.
He was so cute. So he was adorable, and I tipped him, and then he forgot to take the number off of the tag, and they came back to get it. So I told him, I said, okay, now you have to share the tip because they had to do a little work.
Oh, I bet he died. I bet he's so embarrassed.
But he was so cute. So, but their attitude, you know, everybody has really good attitude, and I think you really, your personality, which is so warm and good, kind of goes over to the whole staff. So you really run a good property.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
So thank
that.
you. So Janine Chicourrat, Portola Hotel and Spa. If you haven't gone, tried the new menu, get yourself down there. It's absolutely fabulous. And we'll see you next time. This is your town. Thank you.